All right, we are live on Facebook. We've got Corey Fleischer here from Erasing Hate.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
He's going to be going live on his Instagram soon. We should be on air in about another minute, maybe 30 seconds. Corey, thank you for doing this.
Pleasure.
Amazing, amazing story.
Pleasure,
And hope
pleasure.
you enjoy the show here.
All right. What's going on, guys? Everybody at home?
There we go. So can you see, I guess you can't see who's on, right?
You know what I'm going to do is I'll let that run like that, and then as soon as we have a break, I'll turn it, answer some questions.
Okay, cool.
And you can meet Marie
I'll show from there.
on site
All right.
Saturday, January 19th from 1 to 4 p.m.
I'll see you there.
So we have two musical interludes.
Okay.
We won't be able to hear it on Instagram or
Sure.
Facebook because we'll be live on here.
Yeah.
But just for your audience, we've got opening us up. We got a little Guns N' Roses. All right, good with that. Welcome to the
good.
jungle.
I'm good with some GNR. I'm good with some GNR. No problem. Prefer a little Backstreet Boys or
I got Bon
or
Jovi
Justin
coming
Bieber.
up, second house,
Okay.
the second
Okay.
half.
All right. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay, we should be on soon.
Rubby rides ready to collapse. You finally put on your glasses and dive back in.
What's going on, guys?
The least we can do
About to go live. We're here at CJ80.
is 2 pairs.
Matt Del Vecchio is here,
Hey guys,
and
Here we
we're about
go.
to rock it. Here we go.
and welcome back to Life Unrehearsed. I'm Matt Del Vecchio, normally here with Corey Sirota. She's off this week. Figured we'd start you off a little Guns N' Roses on this second segment of Life Unrehearsed. I hope you enjoyed that first segment. Really interesting information about debt and how to deal with it. And I've really been looking forward to this next segment for a long, long time. Very honored to have in studio with us Corey Fleischer, founder of the worldwide movement called Erasing Hate. Corey, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Corey, thanks for being here. Such a fascinating story. Let's go back in time a little bit here. How did you even get started with Erasing Hate?
So Erasing Hate started off as an addiction. I had a graffiti removal company here in the city, and I struggled for a long time in my life not having any meaning, and I struggled for a long time not having any direction. And one thing led to another. I saw a swastika. Ended up driving by it. I had all the tools to make a difference, but I didn't. I just kept on driving.
Because you had a pressure washing company, is that it
Yeah,
at
I have
the
a
time?
pressure washing company. I have I have a truck that basically has all the tools in order to remove graffiti. And just like everybody else, I kind of saw it and just ignored it, and I just kept on going. And you know what? The second that I passed it, I knew that I made a big mistake. And so we had a job in the West Island. Started doing it. We were like 2 hours into the job. Something came over me where I had everybody pack up the gear. Sent everybody home, and then I went back to erase it, and I found that that 15 seconds that I got from erasing that hate, was something that I was searching for my whole life, and that's it. I just wanted more and more and more, and that's what I started doing. I would come home from work and start searching the city and looking for anything flagrant, that was the meaning, towards anybody, and
free of charge?
free of charge, not only here in Montreal but all over the world. So.
It's, we're going to get into just how this has just literally have gone viral. But just to understand, you mentioned in this particular case, this very first one was a swastika. There was a lot of anti-Semitism that you saw, and I guess it started off at that, but it morphed into much more than that, right?
Yeah, it. You know what? Look, I mean, swastikas really, they really vary, right? And a lot of times it does have to do with anti-Semitism, and it does have to do with, directed towards the Jewish communities. But realistically, a swastika could be directed towards, any minority. It could be directed towards, the Black community. It could be, directed towards the Muslim community. Realistically, anything that's not, pure white can be directed with a swastika. So, in the first 5 years, we removed 50 pieces. I would say probably 45 of those 50 pieces were swastikas. And so now in the last 3 years since this has gone fully public, we've removed thousands and thousands all over the world. Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about that. Just a few short years ago, we're talking, by the way, to Corey Fleischer with this worldwide movement. It started right here in Montreal called Erasing Hate. You went from doing what you're doing, 5, 10, dozen, and then all of a sudden this thing really starts building momentum and starts taking off. At what point in time in the last couple of years did you say, "Oh man, this is going a little more than what I thought"?
Yeah, you know what? It really kind of started booting out when the video started going viral, and I started getting phone calls from people all over the world asking me to help them. And at the beginning, I felt completely helpless because I couldn't fly over the world, to go remove a swastika here and another piece of hate somewhere else. And I found it almost easier for me to erase it from my phone, to organize it from literally my phone than almost it is for me for here in the city to go and remove it. If I'm here in the city, I have to go to my shop, grab my truck, head out there, take a few hours. I could zap a piece of hate on the other side of the world in under 45 minutes. So
that's something else. So you've literally created an army of graffiti removers around the world. How many do you figure are out there doing this because of you?
I feel like the numbers are not are dead on, but we have around 100,000 people that are now following this movement. We have 100 million views on our on social media in 2018. And it realistically just has to do with a lot of people getting involved, a lot of people getting inspired from these videos. And I didn't start doing this with some grand plan that it was going to start affecting everybody, right? It realistically was only for myself. It was for to feed my own, just to make me feel complete. And it's a great thing that it started affecting a lot of other people. And those videos, what they do is they inspire other people around the world to do what I'm doing, and realistically I couldn't be prouder of that. So yeah.
Okay, Corey Fleischer, founder of Erasing Hate. Think what you just said, 100 million views, and this is just 2018. Let me tell you this. We Facebook Live our Life Unrehearsed show, okay? And if I get 1,000 views, I'm high-fiving Corey. I got my wife. Hey, 100 million views, incredible. If you take this army of people removing graffiti, do you have any idea of actually how much graffiti you've scrubbed away, erased away? If you were to throw in, I know it's a hard question, but can you do you have a sense of how much has been removed?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, it's thousands and thousands, and realistically, we have this first audit of its kind that's going to be coming out very soon. That's tracking these all around the world, right? And this is the first movement of its kind. It's the first group of people of its kind that have come together to battle this sort of a situation. There's nothing been like it ever seen before, ever. And, it's going to be really something around 10 years when we look back, and we're going to be able to see around the world where hate has increased and where hate has decreased. And, what's great about it is, I like to say it's my army, but we're all in this together, right? So, anybody who's involved, anybody who's a part of this, anybody who calls me, anybody who does a removal is a part of this. So it's a movement by the people, for the people. And as you can see, it's like a wildfire. Yeah.
I want to expand on that. Recipient of the YMCA's Peace Medal, right, in 2015, Community Leadership Award. You did a TEDx talk. I watched that. I highly encourage anyone to just TEDx Corey Fleischer, and it was something else. But I think that was one of the points that resonated with me most. This didn't start about you. It's not about you, and you could so easily make it about everyone. Everyone could do exactly what you're doing. You're just providing sort of a venue to encourage it.
You know what? It's like everybody thinks I have like magic hands, or I'm doing something that's like so elaborate, right? And it's the most simplest of things. Like what I'm doing is the most simplest of things. The only difference between me and you and everybody at home is that I have a power washer, some water, and drive to make a difference. A lot of people think that social change around the world, in order to make social change, that you need millions of dollars, that you need algorithms, or you need these unattainable things. And realistically, if you just follow your heart, and if you see something's wrong and you just continue and you battle and you never give up, great things could happen. And at the beginning, you have to understand, I have a very good core, I have a very good circle of people who support me, but nobody believed in what I was doing. Everybody thought that I was absolutely crazy. No one had the vision of what I was feeling, and realistically, I didn't either. I just knew inside, from the feeling that I got, that even if I wanted to, I couldn't stop. It was, I tell everybody that I eat hate for breakfast, I eat hate for lunch, I'm eating hate for dinner, and when I go to bed at night, I'm dreaming about hate. So it's just my life.
It's Corey Fleischer, founder of the worldwide movement now called Erasing Hate. We're approaching 4:45, Corey. We're going to have to get out for a quick traffic break. But when we come back, you're well known out there, but what a lot of people may not know is that this has been a struggle for you through your childhood and life. I mean, you even had a learning disability. So we're going to hear a little bit more of this is just not an easy sugarcoating thing. You've paid your dues and gone through a lot. But first, let's head to the CJD Traffic Center with Lauren Glazer.
All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh.
Okay,
let's see what we got. Let's see what type of, I don't know if I can roll this around or not over here. Hey guys, what's going on?
we've got Corey, who's on Instagram also with a nice big following. We've got Phyllis Frost that says hello.
Hey Phyllis, how are you? How are you? All right, let's see what we got here. I'm just going to roll through some of the question, guys, before we go back. And I switch it back around. Oh my God,
Jeez.
So many questions. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see. What's going on? It's unbelievable that how many people are just is just reaching out from us from all over the world. It's really something, man. There, hold on. Just come visit as the photographer one day. All right. Anyways, if anybody has any real serious questions, let me know. What's going on, Courtsy? This guy, Courtsy. He's he's a great hockey player. He's actually my photographer, my videographer, and he goes and he plays in the East Coast when.
Okay, but if you had to drop the gloves, who's going to win?
Me every time. Me every time with everybody.
Courtsy.
What's going on, Johnny? What's going on?
All right, I'm going to get you settled back in here.
Thank you very much, Shay Heartless. I appreciate it. Let's see what else we got here. Anybody want to ask any questions? You want to leave anything? I'll answer everything afterwards. Possible. Okay, we're going to get into a little bit of that. So just keep on following, and we're going to talk about how I got into this and.
It's okay about this learning disability.
100%. What do you mean?
Speech, right?
Yeah, it's a language processing disorder that I was diagnosed with a long time ago, and it really affected me.
Okay. We are going to be out at around 4:56. We're going to be on in about another minute or two, so we have about 5 minutes.
All right.
But I want to get into what's next on your agenda, right? About the app. Okay.
Beautiful.
And then how can people reach you?
All right. I'm going to turn this around, guys. I'll be back.
All right. Good stuff.
Hey, listen, anything's on, everything that, and how it goes and from where we got to where I am right now is obviously important, so.
That's good, because there's a story behind the story, it's a human story. Good on you, man.
Yeah. That's it. It's it's something that I just wish that people, people these days would stop really listening to what anybody else has to say, right? So many people are so discouraging, and they try discouraging so many people because they don't have the vision and they can't see what you're doing.
So I'll say, what advice do you have for others?
For sure,
right? Okay?
for sure.
I think that's a very good point.
For sure.
All right.
Clear nail to grow. For all foot care.
Another minute or so.
All right.
And we got a little. I went Bon Jovi for us. Okay.
I'm okay with the. I'm okay with the joke. I'm okay with the joke
We got
too.
keep the faith.
It's all good. I'm always asked. I'm always wearing my earphones, right? And everybody's always asking me what I'm listening to, right? They're always like, "What are you listening to?
What are you?"
And they think I'm listening to like Metallica or Guns N' Roses or whatever it is, right? But
some Barry Manilow or Air Supply.
Nah, there's none of that. I'm rocking. I'm usually rocking like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and Biebs, and that's what gets me going. So that's what I'm doing when I'm racing swastikas and listening to Backstreet Boys. Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to talk about. You had some stuff, swastikas, that were there for 20 years.
Yeah.
And it took you how long? A minute, 2 minutes?
Less. A lot of my removals aren't, a lot of people
Here we
think
go.
that, okay.
And welcome back to Life Unrehearsed. I'm Matt Del Vecchio. I'm here in studio with Corey Fleischer, founder of the worldwide movement called Erasing Hate. Yes, Corey, we got to keep the faith, and thank you for being here on a Sunday. Incredible worldwide movement that is just still going viral. Before traffic, Corey, we talked about, and I was amazed when I heard about this, is as you were growing up, this was no easy task in school and so on, and you had to deal with a learning disability. Tell us a little bit more about that.
In the mid '90s and the early 2000s, there wasn't a lot of education on kids like me who suffered. I have a language processing disorder, which allows me to the thoughts are going on in my head, but to verbalize it was always a major issue for me. So in grade 3, I was kicked out of my elementary school. I'm not going to say what elementary school it was, but it was a school in Dollar Des Ormeaux that I couldn't handle the 3 languages. And then one thing led to another, and I was the kid who walked into class with another teacher, sitting right next to me. That was me. So whenever I go and I talk to kids and I talk to schools, I try finding myself in the audience, to let them know that, everything's going to be okay. There's this stigma that really kind of, it kept me up, so many sleepless nights, and, that because I wasn't good in school, and because, not that I wasn't good in school, it's just that I couldn't properly, get through what I wanted to say. And so, realistically, there's a lot of kids out there that are just, they feel the same way. They feel that if they're not going to do good in school, that they're not going to do good in life, and it's really, like, honestly, it's the biggest sham that's out there. And so, school is great, and it's not necessarily what you're learning, but how you're learning and how you're able to apply that to real life. And so, I have a women's studies degree from my university that it's great that I have it, but it hasn't affected my life whatsoever. So for all those kids and for all those students that are out there that are worrying, it's going to be okay.
It's Corey Fleischer, founder of Erasing Hate, just gone viral, 100 million views on social media just in 2018. Lovely to hear that, Corey, to hear what you've had to battle through, and now you're in a much different battle. And, when I hear you, you are so passionate, and again, what I love about it is that you're just one regular guy, and you're getting the message out there that so many more people can do this. So what would you want to say to anyone listening?
It's if you feel something, that gut feeling in you, follow it, and don't listen to anybody else except yourself. And a lot of people see social media, right, as this like negative thing that's going on in our society, right? And so you could use social media 2 completely different ways. You could use it the proper way or the negative way, right? And so people always ask me, and a lot of concentrations talked on social media because the whole movement is ran through social media, and so what I like to tell them and what I like to explain to everybody is that if you're doing social media right or if you're doing it wrong, and if you're doing it right, when the person comes to your page and they leave, they're leaving a better person. If somebody comes to your social media page and they don't leave a better person, you're doing social media wrong. And so, a lot of people are showing their cars and they're showing their bling and they're showing their diamonds, and, anybody can get that. You have a little bit of money, you can get that. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the unattainable things that you can't buy.
It's Corey Fleischer here talking about Erasing Hate. And just on that note, there's one little video that I saw, and you can go to the hashtag Erasing Hate on Instagram and a bunch of others. But this one really resonated with me, where you had gone, I think there's a swastika that was somewhere for over like 20 years, if not more. And how long did it take you to remove that?
It takes me an average, if you look at my Instagram videos, you'll know there's a 1-minute slot on those Instagram videos, and I'll rock them out, in under a minute. So,
20 years, families had to go by that.
Longer. There's instances where there's been, carved in cement sitting there for 30 years. Look, just alone in the last, month and a half, within 45 to 100 feet of where we're sitting right now, I've removed 3 swastikas. So, So realistically, it's not always that there's new hate coming, and everybody's always asking me, is there's this new wave of hate that's coming? Look, hate has always been here, right? And now with social media being available, and that, before, if it wasn't on the 6 o'clock news, and if it, if it wasn't in the newspaper, you weren't finding out about it. And so now that you just have to open up your phone to see what's going on around the world, so now you're able to see that there's more hate, and so and that's really what it is.
And then you've turned that energy into so much positive. You're always on the go. What's next for Corey?
Well, we're going to Europe. We're walking into France. We're walking to Germany. We're walking into Italy. That's the next step. We have an app that's coming out where you'll just be able to walk up to that app, to that hate, snap a picture, and walk away. And what that'll do is it'll send me your geocodes. It'll send us the picture, and then you become responsible for that hate, being erased. And so, yeah.
Corey Fleischer from Erasing Hate. If I want to do something right now, how can I get a hold of you? How can I get your hashtag Erasing Hate? What would you suggest for people?
The best way to get in contact with me is through our Instagram page at Erasing Hate, or on our Facebook page at Erasing Hate. And realistically, if you hit me up on my private page on Facebook at Corey Fleischer, I'll answer you there too. So you send me a message, I'm gonna answer it. I'm not one of those guys that doesn't that doesn't reply. So
difference maker. Corey Fleischer, a Montrealer, gone worldwide. Thank you so much for joining us here on Life Unrehearsed, Corey. Next week on Life Unrehearsed, how to be the best version of yourself with author, coach, and speaker Melissa Don. And, I can't think of too many people that have had more of a life unrehearsed than Stanley Cup champion Theo Fleury. Well, we'll be talking to him. That's next week, and you can catch us on Life Unrehearsed on CJAD 800 every Sunday at 4 p.m.
all right, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it very much. I appreciate
Corey,
it very much.
thank you. You are the man.
Thank you guys very much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Everything's
Thank you.
fantastic, and thank you. All right, guys.